don't know if it'll be pro hockey or pro baseball, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about, and I would love to do. And I'm so glad to see that step's finally been taken, and that is an option for me if I wanted.
Welcome to episode 310 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. Old Man Winter's return has not slowed down the baseball news around Alberta, so let's get right into it. And we're going to start with some big congratulations going out to friend of the show, Todd Hubka. He's being inducted into the Prairie Baseball Academy's Hall of Fame in 2025, and he will be the lone inductee, very deservedly so. He's been a fixture on Southern Alberta's baseball scene for years, and as written by Brent Radlinski, quote, "In many ways, Coach Hubka is PBA." If you head to the program's website and scroll down to the bottom of their story, you can submit a video tribute to Hubs, which will be put together for a tribute at the PBA banquet in February. In the pro ranks, the rumor mill continues to run rampant about Calgary's Michael Soroka. We've documented his journey well now, and interest is still definitely there. After his move to the Chicago White Sox bullpen, he remains a free agent for right now, and several teams are apparently kicking tires. Meantime, former Medicine Mavericks hurler Jacob Webb is now a free agent as well. The Baltimore Orioles have surprisingly non-tendered the right-hander after a solid season where he went 2-5 with a 3.02 ERA in 60 relief appearances. The Blue Jays are apparently one of the teams looking at him as a possible option for their bullpen. On the U.S. college commitment front, Austin Collins of Dogs Academy is going to Central Arizona College. Dryden Pidlizny of Badlands Academy joins Indian Hills Community College. A couple out of Vauxhall as Callum Thompson and Ben Simmons are committing with destinations of Colby and Eastern Arizona, respectively. And Lowen Kitagawa of the Lethbridge Longhorns will be heading to Bethany Lutheran College. A couple of transfers as well, with Jordan Bauer going from Minnesota West to Alexandria Tech and Community College, while AHP Academy product and friend of the show Amar Mahmood is transferring from Northeastern to Lincoln University. Meantime, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Prairie Baseball Academy, the University of Calgary Dinos, and the Edmonton Collegiate Hawks are also announcing new recruits on a pretty regular basis now on their socials. The CCBC season will get going in just a few months, and we can hardly wait. On to this episode's guests now, and it is award season around the baseball world right now. Earlier this week, we dropped a special show recapping the Little League Alberta Gala. This time around, we head to the Baseball Alberta event, which was also held last weekend. We've mentioned a few of the award winners here on the show in recent weeks, so I won't go through all of them. We are working on a full season in review story that'll mention all of the award winners, just as we do every year, and that should come out very soon. We'll start with Baseball Alberta Executive Director Danielle Moffat, who says it was another outstanding year for the game in our province. Adding to the excitement was a brand new brand with the Team Alberta Bighorns, complete with new jerseys and hats. We got into the origin story on that and much more earlier this week.
Danielle, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How are you going to remember 2024?
That's a great question to start off with. When I took over, not too many years ago, we had a 3-year modernization plan, I guess we'd call it, for our association top to bottom. We had made significant internal investments in our operation, and we've been executing on that plan. From governance to technology, strategic planning to staffing, I think 2024 was a pivotal year for Baseball Alberta. It was a year of kind of renewal and growth. We made major strides on collaborating with our provincial governing bodies, operating outside of the Alberta silo with information and resource share, which I'm extremely proud of and excited about for our future, because we are learning from other people and not having to just stay stuck in what we might have thought was the right path. I can't leave out the fact that we hit it out of the park with our new branding. It's taken off. It's so cool to watch young kids, adults, teenagers wearing our product and being connected to it so quickly. So we're pretty proud of that. What else? We have seen a strong return on our pre-COVID participation numbers. We also created our Bagel League which is our Baseball Alberta Girls League. We made significant strides in some coach and umpire development, increased focus on improving the baseball experience across the province, really. Most importantly, it was a year where we strengthened our foundation to kind of support generations of players and our volunteers. We often forget about those people who do the really hard work, and so we're trying really hard in this office to create tools to help them do their job a little bit more. So it's a year that will stand out to me as a kind of a turning point in our organization, in my mind. And honestly, none of this could have been done as well as we have done it without my extraordinary team that we have working behind the scenes at Baseball Alberta.
Very cool. I keep saying this, and I feel like a broken record sometimes, but it feels like there's something special happening in this province. You know, whether you go at the top of the top, you know, Eric Sabrowski makes his MLB debut, all the way down to, you know, the grassroots where we're talking about continued growth and interest in the game. What's been key in your eyes to seeing the game continue to develop? Because it's not the same across the board. You look in the States and baseball's kind of stagnated a little bit. You look across Canada and everybody's got kind of different stories, whereas we're seeing continued growth in my eyes. What are you noticing about that side of things?
You know what? I would agree with you that there is something special happening in Alberta, but I think it comes down to the people. The athletes, the coaches, officials, and our volunteers who are just deeply passionate about the sport. I don't think you do anything well without having some serious passion to help get you through all of the hurdles that you come across. Every story of success that we've heard, obviously the ones that you've mentioned, that we've seen come out throughout the year, there is a group of champions behind them, lifting them up and pushing them to where they are. And I think that we have a special breed of people here that just are willing to give of themselves. And I think our athletes just put in the work, and we're really proud of the combination of that collaboration. The other thing too, like, we are in a world of lack of capacity and limited resources, and I know here within Baseball Alberta, we've shifted our focus, and we're continuing to collaborate with other governing bodies and making strategic partnerships so that we don't reinvent the wheel. We're trying to be more efficient in creating different processes so it makes everybody's life a little bit easier. Ultimately, we want to continue to provide value and leadership to our members, and organically, I think we will just grow because of that. And supporting the community champions, who are really the important ones doing the trench work, which is building and leading the sport at the community level. I think that we're going to continue to see good things from all of our member associations in the coming years, and the key for us has been fostering a sense of community while trying to maintain a commitment to excellence in every aspect of our game. So.
Very cool. I'm glad you touched earlier on the branding side of things, and I agree. I love the new brand. I love the Bighorns idea and the things that the kind of offshoots that you're able to do, whether it be on social or that kind of thing. Take us back to the beginning of that and what the vision was behind wanting to have something that was a little more identifiable than the standard Alberta across the chest and maybe the A on the cap.
Oh, that's a big question. You're kind of opening the door to stories I'm not sure I'm allowed to tell, but we knew that we had, that the logo, that I should just pay some homage to the history of our previous logo. We had used it for 50 years, and I think it did a really great job of serving Baseball Alberta. But it kind of got to a point where when we came in and knew that we had some a new strategic direction that we wanted to take the organization in, it just felt right to make the steps to to packaging it up as best as we could. And so we set out on a path. We thought we had a company to help us with it, and when some of the options came back, they just didn't feel quite right. And it was kind of a really difficult thing because we were expecting something. We just wanted something to feel or connect us right away. And we ended up switching to a different provider to help us with it. And as soon as we saw the three options that he had provided, I think our staff initially became immediately connected as soon as we saw the bighorns. And it wasn't quite what it is today. We made some tweaks to the design, but we have our young media professional here who kind of help lead the way, and really was driving the idea of having something that we could physically connect people to. And the bighorn sheep, we've done a lot of education. We've learned a lot about why it's important to us, and that was a big part of the branding. There was many attributes that the bighorn sheep has, and that we think make it the perfect fit for what our vision is and our goals and who we are as an organization. And it was just the right packaging, and everybody, like all the kids, seem to really love it. So we're super happy with what the end result is.
As a branding nerd, I'm all about it. I love animals, and so it worked out really well in my eyes as well. So kudos on that. When you look ahead to 2025 and the opportunities that are in front of you, what do you think might be a big hurdle or a big challenge you want to overcome to take it to the next level come next year?
This is a difficult question. I think heading into 2025, one of our biggest challenges will be meeting the growing demand for baseball while still trying to ensure the quality of our program still remains high. With increasing participation, we feel like we need to address challenges like resource allocation, facility access. There's many parts of this province that are already exploding, bursting at the seams, and really don't have access to facility. The recruitment and retention of coaches and officials. Back in the day, we used to be able to convince anybody to coach, and that's becoming a little bit harder every day because people find value in other things instead of just getting their time up. So we're working really hard at trying to balance that growth with some sustainability as one of our priorities. Our programs are expanding, which will need to maintain strong communication and support for our volunteers. Our volunteers, like I mentioned before, are really the backbone of Baseball Alberta, so whatever we can do to help try to support them, we will be rolling out this year, just trying to make their lives easier. So I think with the combination of all of that, we have some big hurdles, some big challenges, but I feel like if we talk about going back to what we said about something happening that's special in Alberta, is I think that we have the right people here in this province that are just willing to find a way. So we're going to work hard to provide the tools and take some burdens off of people, but we're going to just work as hard as we can to try to face some of those and meet them in 2025.
Albertans tend to stand up when times get rough or when they need when the need is there. So I have no doubt they'll meet those challenges as well. One final question before I let you go, Danielle, and it's about the future as well. Break out that crystal ball for us a little bit. We were sitting in a hotel in 2025, a year from now, and we get to have the same conversation. How are you going to be gauging success, or what's that barometer for it?
Success for 2025. I could say we could measure it by the impact we've had on athletes and the baseball community. We already know that it's going to be the first time ever that girls will play in a Canada Summer Games. So that's a success already on display because of the investments that we've made in our female programming. We're super excited and about that. But if we were sitting here a year from now, in my mind, success will be at the community level. Baseball Alberta member organizations, I hope, will feel that they are receiving more value from a provincial governing body from the previous year, where volunteers kind of feel less stressed and empowered to do right for their local members or players or coaches. That's what I hope to see in my crystal ball. That would be a huge success for us. At a leadership level, I think we have started down a path to align our governance model with an industry standard in Canada and sport across Canada, which is exciting for Baseball Alberta. So we will be making some changes on our board size and the work that they do for the community. And I think that we have a good plan and need to continue down that path, and I'm confident that we will see some exciting changes. I think that's probably it. Like, I think that's already a lot.
Just a couple of things on the checklist, right?
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Well, Danielle, as always, a real pleasure getting a bit of an update on what all that's happening with Baseball Alberta. Congratulations on a fantastic 2024 season, and looking forward to everything that's coming up in 2025. Thanks so much for joining us here on the show again.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Next up, a pair of award winners, and we're going to start with the 2024 Baseball Alberta Elite League Player of the Year, Luke Schmitt. He was a force on the hill for the Red Deer Braves this summer as they went all the way to win provincials and then the 18U national title. The St. Joseph Academy product also had some commitment news recently as he's heading to Butler Community College.
Luke, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Baseball Alberta Elite League Player of the Year, Luke Schmitt. How does that sound?
Sounds awesome. Never expected something like this to happen. I'm grateful for it.
What went through your mind when you heard your name called?
You know what? Just all the hard work and all the people who put their time in for me. I wouldn't be here without a ton of people working hard for me. And yeah, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to receive that award.
The numbers, especially on the mound, kind of speak for themselves here. I mean, 5-1, a 1.29 ERA, and 54+. You allowed just 10 earned runs all season. What was your key to success looking back on it?
I think my key to success was really getting up in counts. Like, I'm not an overpowering pitcher in terms of velo, but I could locate my off speed, and once I got up in counts, I found that it was really quite easier to get hitters out. So I think that was kind of my key to success this year.
What has been your mindset when it comes to the pitching game? Like you mentioned, you might not be an overpowering guy, but how were you able to manage your off speed and walk us through the mindset as you're going against every batter?
Okay, yeah. So basically, when I pitch, of course, you don't have the overpowering stuff, but what you got to do to be a good pitcher is you got to get into the minds of the hitter and basically do the opposite of it. So let's say, I'm in a 2-0 count, the hitter's expecting fastball, and it's a left-handed hitter, or maybe you flip a curveball in there and they're just not expecting that at all. So it's such a great tool to be able to locate your off-speed, because you can get into the mind of the hitter and, do the opposite of what they're thinking, and then it's really hard to hit then.
It obviously worked for you. It was quite the year for the team as well. Let's start with provincials and winning it all. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was a really hard path to the finals. Of course, we lost to the Calgary Cubs there. That was quite a shock for us. And then we had to pretty much a must-win game against Parkland. And then we also lost that. We kind of thought it was over there, but we got the grace of a nice tie-break game and on 9 a.m. Sunday and played 3 great games, battled hard all the way. We were down a lot of the time too, but I think we battled really hard, and then winning 3 games in one day is always awesome, especially when it's provincials. Left it all out there.
Heading into that final day, What was being said in that dugout? Because you know it's an uphill battle, but is there something that you're leaning on, or somebody that's kind of being more outspoken, or what's the vibe like trying to muster up 3 straight wins in one day?
Oh man, it wasn't awesome when we were losing games there. There was quite a bit of frustration, especially from the hitters. We hit well all year. That's kind of been our biggest. The guys hit well all year, and then it was really frustrating to get in the provincials and just not scoring, a ton of runs. And we didn't have the best approach at the plate, so it was quite frustrating on the hitting side of things, because that's just something we've done well all year long. So it was quite hard, but we battled. The pitchers did an awesome job keeping games close enough, and the hitters did their job late in the games. So it was awesome.
And then there's that quick turnaround. You got to go to nationals, and you guys rolled from there to a national 18U championship. What did that mean to you looking back on it?
I look back on it and I realized that I'm never going to get that chance again. Like, it was something so special. Not many people, period, get to do that. Like, even go to nationals, let alone win the whole thing. So it was so special. It's something that I'll never forget. Probably one of the best weekends of my life, to be honest with you.
Take us back to the last out and the pandemonium afterwards. What was that like?
Oh man, it's like everybody blacked out pretty much. Like, we just so special, completely unexpected. Like, we went in, think let's go, let's try to get out of our pool, because we were in the weaker pool. So let's try to get out of our pool and we'll see what happens from there. But and especially immersing in the finals, like, nobody expected that. We just played so well. Everything went right in nationals. So it was awesome.
Do you remember who the first person it was that you hugged?
I have no idea, really. I mean, we were just all in the big pile, and then, I have no idea. A couple minutes afterward, I started, regaining consciousness again, but it was unbelievable. I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
That blackout moment is something else, so I love being able to ask that. On the flip side, do you remember that moment where you did emerge from the dog pile and you kind of were able to take that deep breath and go, man, I can't believe we got to accomplish that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the looking around, and the field was so nice, and especially in the nighttime, they made us play a night game for a gold medal game. Just made it something special too. But just looking up at the scoreboard and getting our medals and all the speeches, like, it was unbelievable. Experience like no other. Never will happen again.
Absolutely. Now, while all this is going on, you're having yourself a fantastic year. Obviously, you're working on trying to get to the next level too, and you recently announced you're heading to Butler Community College. What led you to that school?
Well, we took a trip with the academy to Kansas and toured about 6 schools, I think, and we went to Butler. The vibes were awesome. We did like a big team workout, and the coaches just said they love the way I pitch, how I'm a pitcher and I'm not just a thrower. I can locate my off speed, and so the coaches really resonated with me, and thought the town was beautiful and the park was awesome, and it just spoke to me. So
very cool. So what are you most excited about heading down there?
I'm excited for the American baseball experience. I know this is not an opportunity a lot of people get. I'm also just excited for that, being able to go down to the States and play ball at a really high level. Like, the conference is awesome. I got a lot of friends who are in the conference as well, so playing against them will be fun.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to be taking when you're down there?
I think I'm going to be taking a business management degree so I can get into economics at a 4-year school.
Very cool. On the baseball side of things, what kinds of things are you going to be working on? You're talking to me as you're just coming back from working out, and you're going to do some more this afternoon. But what are you hoping to work on over the next few months to get yourself prepared for next fall?
Just got to gain weight and gain velo. Like, I'm not the biggest guy ever, of course, 5'9". I got to get to about 170, 175 pounds. I got to get my velo up, hopefully to the upper 80s, mid 80s upper. So I think that's the part of my game that has to improve the most. So I get there by lifting heavy and gaining weight.
Very cool. Let's get into your baseball past here a little bit. You're a Central Alberta kid. How did you get into the game in the first place?
Ever since a young age, I started in T-ball, going all the way up through Red Deer minor ball. So just ever since I was about 5, I think, started playing in the backyard and T-ball all the way up. So I've always loved baseball.
Were you a multi-sport guy growing up, or was it all baseball all the time?
Yeah, I played hockey for a bit, and then I ran a lot too. I think running is probably my second sport. I don't do it anymore because I lose too much weight. But yeah, I used to run, play hockey, and play ball.
Whose poster is up on your wall?
Poster up on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look around here. All I got on my wall right now is my Player of the Year poster that my sister made for me.
Oh, very cool. Who's your favorite player growing up?
My favorite player is Tony Kemp. I'm a big A's fan, and he was awesome with the A's, so it's my favorite player.
So are you heartbroken at all that they're leaving Oakland, or are you okay with where they'll eventually end up?
Yeah, I watched their last game on TV. It was actually quite emotional, the broadcaster's crying, and I shed a tear. I'm really sad about it, but I think the team's headed in the right direction overall. I mean, I think it's probably the better choice.
So when did it turn for you? When it went from, hey, this is a fun game that's awesome to be around all my buddies and that kind of thing, to maybe I got a shot at chasing this thing?
I think in 15U when we won provincials and I started realizing, like, I can pitch with the best of them. Like, of course, I wasn't the biggest guy in 15U, even more then, but my off speed was good. I can control my pitches. And then when I started gaining velo in 18U, even last year when I started gaining velo, I'm like, you know what? I think this is a dream that I should chase and pursue hard. And then this year it all came together a little bit, and it keeps coming together day by day now. So
you've come up through the Red Deer system, and then you head over to St. Joe's. What's that program meant to you in your development, not only as a ball player but as a human being as well?
It's meant so much. Without St. Joe's, I think it was probably one of the most important decisions in my life to go there and commit to ball full time. The coaches there have been absolutely amazing. Shout out Riley Barrett. He's my pitching coach. All the guys love him there. He's done so much for me, and yeah, I think without Joe's, I would not be where I am today, 100%.
Love the shout out there. You've had a lot of highlights over the course of your young career to this point. Do you have a favorite one, though? The one that really sticks out in your mind as being that moment where you had to take that step back and go, man, I can't believe I get to do this.
Yeah, I mean, nationals and provincials are good. I think on the Sunday of provincials where I got to pitch against Parkland, who's kind of our rivals all year, had so many good games. They beat us more than we beat them this year. So when I got to pitch against them in an elimination game, I was so lucky to do that. I think that's one of the highlights of my life. I pitched one of the best games of my life, and I can look back and be like, wow, that was such a great game, and I'm so lucky to have pitched there.
Absolutely. On the flip side of that, we all know baseball is a game of failure. So looking back on it, what's been the biggest challenge or the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome?
I think last year, even in 18U, there was times of massive struggle, mostly mentally. I think I was supposed to be a hitter last year, and I couldn't hit the ball, and sometimes I couldn't even pitch. Like, my ERA was not what it was this year at all. There's sometimes I get pretty beat up. So I think learning to be mentally tough, and yeah, mostly it's just like so much of baseball is mental, and being so mentally tough this year is what made me so good. So I think last year was a big stepping stone for me, just because I failed a lot more than I succeeded. So yeah.
What was the unlock for you in that year? Like you said, it's kind of basically polar opposites, right? You go from, I really struggled last year, to I'm going to be at the top of the food chain in 2024.
Yeah. It's like, again, like I said, my mental game got so much better over the off season. I threw a couple miles an hour harder, probably 3 or 4, and my spin went up, and I just pitched like a bulldog pretty much. That's pretty much a lot of it is mental, and of course on the hitting side, there's barely any pressure to hit as a pitcher, so just went up there and swung the bat.
Did you lean on anybody in particular in that, or was that more of a personal reflection over a winter kind of thing where you went, okay, I just got to buck up and get rolling?
It was largely personal. I took a lot of reflection on the year, and in my weak moments were when I was mentally weak and I kind of lost it a little bit. But at the academy, Riley really helped me gain the velo, teach me all sorts of stuff about pitching so I can unlock my maximum potential there. But yeah.
Very cool. A few fun ones for you here. We'll start off. What's your walk-up tune of choice?
This year my pitching walkout song was Dream On by Aerosmith. That's what it was, yeah.
I love it. Love a little Aerosmith. What's your favorite baseball movie?
Oh, man. I'm going to say Moneyball. I love the A's, and I love the number side of ball, so it's pretty much a perfect movie for me.
I kind of wondered if the Oakland A thing would come into play on that one, so absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any game day superstitions?
You know what? Mostly before I pitch every day, I would play baseball 9, so mobile baseball game. I'm pretty sure people listening would probably know. And I shave before I pitch every single time.
Okay, all right. And finally, who is your baseball or your life idol?
My baseball and my life idol. I would have to say my brother, probably. He's a little younger than me. He's 4 years younger than me, but he won, I think, MVP in 11U. And, of course, he's getting bigger. He's probably the same size I am, but we compete every single day, and he's probably my biggest idol.
Very cool. Big shout-out to the bro as well. Couple more for you before we let you go here.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your message to those young kids who are just starting out on their baseball journeys and they want to be in your shoes one day?
You know what? You just got to stick with it, even in the toughest times. The most important thing in baseball, I think, is the mental game. So work on your mental game as much as possible and just become a bulldog on the field.
Great advice there. And the final one we ask everybody here on the show, Luke, what does the game of baseball mean to you?
It means a lot. It's pretty much my whole life. You know, every single day I wake up and get to play baseball and strength train, and then always looking forward to something. I mean, I'm trying to play it for as long as possible. You only live once, right? So it means so much to me.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing the journey continue
awesome. Thank you.
Butler and so much more. Again, Luke, congrats on all the success, all the accolades, all the championships, continued success in 2025 and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And finally, we catch up now with Women's Open Player of the Year, Kaitlyn Ross. The Red Cliff native was outstanding for Team Alberta at Nationals once again, earning another spot on the Baseball Canada women's national team. She also played some ball in Quebec this year, which she says was a game changer for her. This winter, Ross has been busy as she is a two-sport star, tending the net for the Mount Royal University Cougars.
Kaitlyn, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
2024 Baseball Alberta Open Women's Player of the Year, Kaitlyn Ross. How does that sound?
Yeah, like that's a pretty exciting thing. I'm obviously honored to be named that. And it was, I had a great time, and it showed in the way that I was playing and the fun that I was having. So to get recognized for that was an honor. What
went through your mind when you first heard that you were going to be getting the award?
Honestly, at first I was a little bit surprised. I was like, okay, yeah, like I thought individually I had a great time, but I'm like, I never want to like put myself above how the team does and how everyone else is doing in that sense. So yeah, I was definitely a little surprised.
Mm-hmm. Now your performance at Nationals, as you mentioned, is what was really highlighted in the awards presentation. How did you feel about your performance though during that weekend?
Honestly, I felt really good about it. It felt like all the pressure kind of just like went off of me, and I was just having fun and just back to like playing the game that I love with really no like expectations. So yeah, I thought I did really well hitting, and that's something that I definitely struggle with in my game. So to be able to hit well in that tournament and produce for my team, like that was huge for me. And then obviously catching and pitching went well. So
that's been I was going to say, that's been a bit of a change for you, hasn't it? As you've been mainly known as a catcher as you were growing up. Was pitching always in your repertoire, or is that something that you've kind of learned on the fly?
Ever since I was young, I've pitched a little bit. Like if my coaches need me, I'm like, hey, yeah, I can pitch. Like I've worked with my dad on it, but I've never gone like very like detailed or technical with my pitching. It's just always something that I've had, and I've like kept up to par, but nothing I've really tried to like excel at. It's just if my coach needs me to pitch, then I'll pitch.
Is it something that you're willing to think about though, and because you're still young in the career, so is it something that you're thinking about, say for next year, is like, hey, maybe I can do a little bit more on that front to become more valuable, especially for the provincial team and then of course the national team?
Yeah, of course. If I have the resources available to me, then I would love to further that. It's always great to have other things in your back pocket aside from just catching, like to be able to be a two-way player or whatever it may be. Like, it's always valuable to have.
Heading back to nationals for a second, it's weird to think this because it feels like you're still like in our minds of a teenager, right? And yet you're one of the veterans on that team. So what are you trying to instill on that squad? Because there is a really good mix of veterans and some younger players too.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting going from being like one of the youngest on that team to being the oldest. And I think it comes with bringing my experience and like letting the younger ones know like what it takes and what it's all about to like represent your country and like the hard work and like bringing my leadership skills that I have, bringing all of that together to really like push the younger generation and the younger group to like eventually be in my spot so they can do the same thing that was done to me by the older ones.
Put your Scouts hat on for a second, and when you look at that Alberta squad as it stands right now and what you saw this past summer, what do you see out of that team?
I think it's going to develop in such a great way. I've heard the talks of some of the players that are coming up, even some of the players that played with us. Like, I think the program's going in the right direction, and I think it's great for Alberta, but also women's baseball. Like, pushing the competitiveness and the level of play. Yeah.
You went on to represent Canada at the World Cup during the summer as well. You guys claimed bronze. What was that experience like?
That was a cool one. It was different in the sense of this one. We spent more time after, like connecting with teams and bonding with teams, and we usually don't do that. Like, normally it's like, hey, Japan stays with Japan, Mexico stays with Mexico, the U.S., like that kind of thing. But after this, it was kind of interesting. We were all hanging out together after, like we were trading all of our clothes, and I've never got that aspect of it, so that was cool. And then also to play in another World Cup, like, it's always a great experience, and to bring home bronze is an amazing thing. And yeah, it can just only push to hopefully bring home gold one day.
Same kind of question as what I asked about Alberta. What do you see out of that Canadian squad now that you've been around the program for a couple of go-rounds now?
Definitely a lot of young talent, especially in the league that I play in Quebec. There's a lot of up-and-coming talent that's going to push for that national team, and they already started doing it. There's a lot of Quebec players and girls in that league on the team, and I think it's going in the right direction. There's a lot of young girls coming up, and it'll always be a fight to get your spot back. But I think that's a good thing, and that means that we're going in the right direction of where we want to be.
I'm glad you mentioned Quebec. What's that experience been like for you to travel across the country kind of thing and try something a little different?
Honestly, like, probably one of the best things that I did. I would say this past summer and the summer before were some of the best summers of my life. I've met lifelong friends, and like memories that'll last a lifetime, but also at the same time, I get to practice every day of the week, and I'm playing whether it's like 2, 3, 4 games in a week or a weekend, and that's not something that you can get everywhere. And I think that's so huge for us, especially for girls with aspirations of the national team. It gives us a place to play all year long, or all summer long. And it pushes that compete, and it gives us the reps and the high quality reps that we need. So yeah, honestly, I've been having a great time. I've loved it, and I've loved that they've accepted us and let us come play with them.
Very cool. When it comes to the baseball side, I know you're busy with hockey during the off season. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but are you working on anything in particular to make sure that you're front and center and improving on things heading into 2025?
Well, that one's tough because it's tough to juggle while doing winter full-time hockey full-time in the winter and doing school also. So no, but there would be hopes of like maybe I can get some extra reps, play catch with someone, like anything like that.
Absolutely. Let's get into your baseball past here a little bit, Kaitlyn. You're originally from Red Cliff, Medicine Hat area. How did you get into the game in the first place?
So when I was young, I always would go to my brother's games. They played baseball. And normally, like, at these games, you'd, like, see all the little kids running around and, like, playing or whatever. But every single time I sat there and I was like, no, I want to watch this. Like, I love watching this. And also I grew up with my dad putting it on the TV. And I was like, I think I love this game. Like, I want to play it. And then, yeah, I got into it when I was young. And I started with T-ball. And I hated T-ball. It wasn't competitive enough for me. And then, yeah, it was just, my dad was like, no, like, once we get through T-ball, like, I think you'll really enjoy it. And yeah, my love for the game stuck. Ever since I was little, I was practicing with my dad in the backfield, and then yeah, I started playing.
Very cool. Did you look up to anyone in particular in the baseball realm?
I don't know specifically. Like, I think, honestly, the person that probably did help me the most was my dad. Just in the ways that he helped me and he pushed me, and like he pushed me to be my best self. So I would say him.
Looking back on the young career on the baseball field anyways, any favorite memories or moments where you had to take that step back and go, I can't believe I get to do this?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, so when I was, I think it was 12, something like that, I was in majors, and that's the year that you can go to the World Series. Mm-hmm. And we actually, before you would go to nationals, I think it was our provincials was in Redcliffe, and we weren't expected to win. Like, we were the underdogs. Like, other teams have already, like, booked their flights, like, they're expecting to win. And then, yeah, we actually ended up winning, and we went to nationals, and we put up a good fight. But it was super, I don't know the word for it, but it was nice to be like the underdogs in that situation and push through and win that tournament when other teams were expected to win. And then we went to nationals and had a once in a lifetime experience. And it would have been even better if we went to the World Series, but we didn't. But we got pretty close, and that's pretty cool.
That is absolutely very cool. On the flip side of that, we all know baseball's a game of failure. And so when it comes to the baseball side of things, what's been the biggest challenge or hurdle you've had to overcome?
Yeah, I would say for me, probably hitting. I'm not always consistent with my hitting, and I think I struggle the mental side of that, not getting too down on myself, and if I do have a bad at-bat, not letting it affect the next one or affecting my play in any other way. And that's something that I've also been trying to work on throughout the summers is being stronger mentally, to not let my hitting bother me so much, or to work on my hitting, because I can be a good hitter. I just get in my head sometimes, and I think that's been the toughest thing for me as a player.
It's interesting that you have that kind of battle, because as a goalie in hockey, you have to kind of let one goal go by the wayside, and here you are saying, I can have a bad at-bat, and it turns into a couple of bad ones, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's actually super funny. I would say that in hockey, I'm actually super good with the mental side of the game, but when it comes to baseball, I don't know what switches, but I struggle a lot more. And I'd be curious to know why that is, but yeah.
Interesting. So speaking of the hockey side, first off, congratulations. Just saw the tweet a little while ago about Mount Royal University all-time record for most regular season shutouts. So congrats on that front. I am curious, though. We've talked about baseball. We've talked about hockey. You mentioned the fact that you've got to balance the academic side as well. How do you do that? What are your keys to success in juggling the day-to-day and the needs of all of the different things that you do?
That's a great question. I think it comes a little bit of trial and error, figuring out what works for me individually, because what works for me might not work for everyone else. But I think it's just time management skills, being able to like stay on top of my school while also keeping my body like in a healthy state, so that in workouts I can be my best, and then on the ice I can be my best, and then by the end of the week for the weekend that everything is all dealt with throughout the week, that I can just focus on hockey and like those games. And then when hockey is done, then that's back to school or social life or whatever it needs to be. But managing my time and also separating them in the sense of, like hockey is hockey, school is school, try not to let them overlap too much.
On the flip side of that, what's been the most difficult challenge, I guess, of having to balance all of the different things?
I think maybe honestly finding a time for like a little bit of me time, or like any like vacation, or like more social time, because my priorities are school, hockey, and baseball. And sometimes it's not like I get to go on a vacation for a week or anything like that. So maybe that, but I love what I do, and I wouldn't change anything about it. Like, yeah.
That's awesome. One other question on that front. I'm a big believer in being a multi-sport athlete and that kind of thing, because you don't burn out. You watch hockey players who do it 24/7, 365, and they burn out. Baseball players can be the same way. What's your mindset on that? Do you recommend the multi-sport versus specialization? Where's your head at on that?
I think that you should do as many sports as you can for as long as you can. Not only, you don't get a burnout, so I don't get, by the end of the year, I'm like, okay, I'm done hockey, I can go play baseball now, I can focus on that. Okay, by the end of the baseball year, okay, I'm done with that. And now I can focus on hockey. And also, I think a lot of skills, mentally and physically, you can take from one sport to the other, and they cross over, and it helps you excel as an athlete in so many different ways.
Absolutely. A few more for you before we let you go. Let's have a few fun ones here. First off, if you've got your choice of a walk-up tune, what is it?
Oh, I found this. I think I found out my favorite walk-up song last summer in Quebec. I like All of the Lights by Kanye West.
Okay, all right, like that one. When it comes to being a fan in the stands and you get to go to the concourse and you get to have whatever you want, what's the food of choice?
Probably, honestly, I don't know if I would say nachos or a hot dog, but probably nachos.
Do you have special toppings on it, the ground beef, chicken, or is it just like nachos, cheese, salsa, and we're good to go?
Yeah, I'm basic and picky, so nachos and cheese sauce.
Fair enough. And finally, who is your life idol, the one person that you look up to the most?
Ooh, that's another great question. Probably my dad. Just with his work ethic and everything that he's done to like push me and support me and be there for me, and he's always the one person with sports that I can look to, and he always has advice for me. So I would say my dad.
It's a pretty good one. A couple more for you before we let you go. For those young athletes who are looking to start their journey in any sport and they want to end up where you're at now, what's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom you like to impart upon them?
I would say don't let anyone tell you no. If you want to play a sport, do it. If you want to play multiple sports, do it. If they say that you can't because you're not good enough or whatever, prove them wrong. Push to be better. If it has anything to do with, oh, you can't play, you're a girl, prove them wrong. Don't take no for an answer. Always push to play and do what you want to do.
On that front, I'm curious, the recent announcement about a professional women's baseball league in 2026, and you've played out in Quebec, you're out in the East, there's some attention around that game. Have you started to think about the possibilities of that?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something that's in the back of my mind, especially we've talked about, I'm a multi-sport athlete, so I'm not exactly sure what the future holds in my sports. I don't know if it'll be pro hockey or pro baseball, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about, and I would love to do, and I'm so glad to see that step's finally been taken, and that is an option for me if I wanted.
I was going to ask about that side too, being the multi-sport and seeing what the PWHL has done. Have you started looking that way and going, maybe there's a shot at some point down the line here?
Yeah, for sure. I would say ultimate goal is to play in the PW. I do want to play pro somewhere after. But saying that, I don't want to completely give up baseball. So I'm kind of torn here. But yeah, if I could do both, if I could play pro hockey and pro baseball, that would be best case scenario. That'd be the perfect world for me.
The Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders of women's hockey and baseball is Kaitlyn Ross. We got her. We're cheering for you, Kaitlyn. That is awesome. Final question for you. It's one we ask everybody here on the show. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
It's huge. It's a big part of who I am. Like, if anyone were to ask me who I am or whatever, I would say I'm an athlete, and I'm a multi-sport athlete. And I think it's taught me so many things. I think it's connected me to so many people, and it's given me such a good work ethic. And yeah, it's really just like shaped how I view my life and where I want to go and how I work towards those things.
Fantastic. Well, Kaitlyn, congrats again on the Baseball Alberta Award and all the success to this point. Continued success at MRU and in all you have on the go. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again to Danielle Moffat, Luke Schmitt, and Kaitlyn Ross for joining us this week. And again, congratulations to all of the Baseball Alberta Award winners. And congrats to everyone involved in baseball around our province for yet another incredible, memorable season. We have a couple more episodes planned before taking a bit of a break for the winter. Don't forget to leave us a rating and review on your podcast app if you like this or any other episode this year. A tip of the cap, as always, to our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, Western Canadian Baseball League, and Under the Lights Sports and Entertainment for their generosity in helping us cover costs like web hosting fees and online newspaper subscriptions. If you'd like to join our roster of sponsors in 2025, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.